This video is going to show you how to edit your sketchbook pages for your process journal. Oftentimes I look at the sketchbook pages that are included in the process journal and they look very yellow or they don't look contrasty. They basically don't match how the other images on the page look. So I have a sketchbook page. I photographed it with my phone, which is, I realize, what most of you will be doing to get your sketchbook pages into your process journal. And I opened up the image into Photoshop here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the white of the page actually looks white. So to do that, I'm going to go down to my layers palette, and I'm going to make my layers palette a little bigger here. And I'm going to go down to the yin yang, that's my term for it, but it's that circle, half white, half gray, and I'm going to choose hue and saturation. And it is going to put a non-destructive adjustment layer right above my background layer. Now in hue and saturation, I'm going to bring this down so we can see that a little bit more. In hue and saturation, I can control just the saturation of a color. Now to do that, I'm going to click on this little tool here. I call it the hand tool. It's called the click and drag image to modify saturation tool, but really it's a hand tool. So I'm going to click on it, go into my image on the white page, and I'm going to click on it. And you see how this changed to yellow, because that means that there is yellow right in this area that I clicked on. If I took my saturation slider all the way to the right, you're going to see where all the yellow is in the image, and you can see there's yellow all over that page. So I'm going to bring it back to the middle. I just did that so that we could see where the color was. So at this point, I'm just going to bring my slider to the left until I get rid of the yellow. I might not want to make it take all the yellow out, because then the image will look might look unnatural, but I'll take most of it out. So there's that. Now right now, if I look at my before and after, my image is better already. There's another way I can do this with the curves adjustment layer. So I'm going to go back to my yin yang, and I'm going to choose curves. Now with the curves, there are these little eyedropper tools on the side. This is the black eyedropper tool, this is the gray eyedropper tool, and this is the white eyedropper tool. So basically, if I take the white eyedropper tool and click in the image where it should be white, the curves will automatically adjust the image so that that area I clicked on is white. And as you see, that made quite a dramatic change. I can do the same thing with the black eyedropper tool. I'm going to zoom in with Command plus, just so I can be sure to click on the darkest place of the image, which is probably this area right here. So I'm going to click on it. Then I'm going to hit Command 0 to fit back on screen. And now I have an even more contrasty image. So this was before. And then, whoops, I'm going back in time here. Let me redo that and redo that. So, and then this is after. So you can see it's very contrasty. Now, sometimes when this is done, it's a little intense. The contrast is just a little too much. So I can adjust that. You can see the white eyedropper tool adjusted the white point on top. The black eyedropper tool adjusted the black point on the bottom. So I can go to each of my layers. I have a red, green, and blue channel here, or each of my channels I should say. And I'm just going to take the black point and move it back about halfway under each channel. So I did the red, I'm doing the green, and I'm doing the blue. I'm not worried about how my image looks until I've done all three channels. And there, that looks a little less contrasty. It looks pretty good. Now I am ready to crop my image. So I'm going to grab my crop tool here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to straighten my image. So once I'm in the crop tool, my straighten tool has appeared at the top. It looks like a level. I'm going to click it and I'm going to drag out a line that is over the part that I want straight. And Photoshop will automatically straighten my image. Pretty cool. Then I'm just going to move my my edges here so that I can get a nice tight crop so that my designs are legible. And that looks good. And I can click return. So that's how my page would look. So let's see before. This is how it looked before. This is how it looked when I just corrected the hue. And this is how it looked when I changed the contrast using the black and white eyedropper tools in the curves adjustment layer. Now, if I'm looking at this and I'm noticing there's some other color casts in here, I can go back to my hue and saturation adjustment layer, click on the hand tool, and I'm going to click in this area right here because that's where the color cast is. And you see how the master changed to red? Again, just so that I can see what's going on, I'm going to move my saturation all the way to the right, and I can see that there's red all over in the image. So I'm going to bring it back to the middle. Then I'm going to bring it down just a little bit just to get rid of some of that cast in here. It's a sketchbook page. There's stuff written on the other side. That's okay. But if I shut all these layers off, you can see before and after. It's quite a dramatic difference. I can go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it on my computer. You can save it on your cloud if you like that. That's fine. I'm going to put it on the desktop, and I'm going to put it in my process journal folder, and I can save it as a Photoshop document. And I would probably put this in my process journal folder, and there it is.